dark day.
We're America. We're America. We're America. We're America.
This is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. 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 Assassination.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. They just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people. Who shotgun Charlie Kirk? I'm driving in a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Yeah.
This guy's gonna get fucking zoned.
They go your Egyptian versus the Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? Babylonian versus Babylonian. Edomite versus Edomite. So I didn't really want to do a lesson on this, but you know what it is with this guy. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. It ain't nothing to talk about. The Most High is gonna, he's getting busy. So let me get into some scriptures real quick. Give me 1 second. And that guy was a big time scoffer against, you Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans. So you see what it is. And a lot of this stuff is, psyops. So you take everything with a grain of salt, but it is what it is. Really ain't really nothing to talk about. But let this be a warning that you never know by anything. And Esau, Edom, right, is gonna do everything to accuse the brethren, the smear campaigns, all kind of things to make us look bad, right? Ecclesiastes 10:8, because of unrighteous dealings. And if you go back and look at that guy content, he was just making shit up out of thin air, you know what I'm saying? He was cooking the stats, making Jake seem out to be a monster, all so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans to be monsters, and and you get what you get. You play silly games, you win silly prizes. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. So this country was founded on racism, slavery, lynchings, alligator bait, you name it. This whole system is corrupt. It's against us. It says the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So right now the Edomites in power, but you see that transition happen. Then it's going to be Jake, so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans are going to be ruling this place. But before that happens, there's going to be much chaos, which we've been telling you that chaos is looming. Chaos is everywhere. Let's go here. And let's go to Habakkuk 2:15. It says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that he putteth the bottle to him and maketh him drunken. So this guy here, he was pointing out these stats that was highly inflated. But let's back it up for a minute. How did Jake get in this situation that they find themselves in? Destroyed, gang culture, pants off their ass, listen to this demonic rap music, blunt in their mouth. The women on Section 8, hood rats, degeneracy. This culture was all created by the so-called white man. That's what this these Edomites don't want to acknowledge that this culture, black culture, so-called black culture, because black culture is deaf culture. The way you eat, the way you think, where you go, so on and so forth. Hispanic and so-called Mexican culture is deaf. Same, follow that trail of tears, so to speak. And then you got Native American culture, but all this equals death. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to see Jake shame right now because the so-called white man set all these systems up, set this government up to put Jakes in a poor conditions, put them in a project so they can unalive each other. You know what I'm saying? Create opportunities, cut off opportunities in their neighborhoods so they can resort to selling drugs and being dope boys and being kill boys and all that. So these conditions were set by your enemy, and that's what this guy didn't want to acknowledge. And this is typical Edomite. It says, in making him drunken, that he may as look upon their necklace. So Jake is in a naked, shameful state right now because of what I explained to you. And the list goes on. The list is infinite. You seeing things among so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans that you never saw before because of they become straight degenerates. Not all, but most of our people. So they might consider themselves to be Christians, to be saved and highly favored. All that's a part of, the shame that's on them because they're in a lost, confused state. Right? And it's easy to kick Jake Wale down. But you got to acknowledge that these things were done to them to make them, to persuade them to live this kind of life. It says Psalm 73 and 8. Matter of fact, let me go to Habakkuk. That's where I want to go next. Right here. So this scripture has, layers to it, but this, like I was explaining to you, it says Habakkuk 2 and 15 condemns those who use intoxication. That's not what I want. It's the one I want. It says intoxication and shame. So Jake is in an intoxicated state. That's why Jake could get out their car with their pants off their ass, smelling like weed, right? Pants off their ass, listen to that demonic. He'd be a young boy and just be in a zombie state of mind. They're in a very shameful state. It says the act of giving drink is a metaphor for deceiving and manipulating others, causing them to lose control. Jake has lost control. The Jake woman and the Jake man is in an all-time low. Look at the NW. The NW is they through. It says to be drunken. The purpose of this intoxication was to expose them to the shame. You hear this? So giving Jake these gangster rappers, right, to look up to, actually paying these gangster rappers and these drill rappers and these satanic rappers to put these enchantments in Jake's mind so Jake can go and repeat this behavior and end up in prison. So it's many different enchantments, creating these social programs that kick the man out the household and makes the government, the husband, so to speak. And I can go on for like years just naming this stuff. It's infinite. But all these different things were done. That's what it means when Jake was given that bottle, Now they're drunken. Now they're in a shameful, demonic, confused. They don't even know if they're coming or going state of mind. Most of them consider themselves to be Christians, wearing crosses, still seeing an image of so-called white Jesus in their mind. So when Jake say saved and Jacob say Christ is king and these different sayings these Christians say, they got to believe in God. That's what they're talking about. That's what they envision in their mind, so-called white Jesus, which they under that enchantment. Psalm 73 and 8. It says they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. So that guy was speaking very lofty, concerning Jake. It says they speak lawfully. So, the kettle can't talk about the pot. Look how America was founded, on rape, robbery, and all these things been done to our people, but yet these devils don't want to hold themselves accountable, right? They think that Jake is, you know, Jake has become a degenerate, but they think they don't see all the traps that were set for our people. There's many of them. And traps are still going on today to mislead them, to keep them from the truth, to keep them in confusion, to keep them focused on this world. That's why you got something like a Louis Farrakhan to trap Jake up into that Islam demon. And it goes on and on. It don't stop. All these different social programs, they actually, man, it's infinite. It says, let's keep going. Because you anybody to call yourself Christians, but when they say they're Christians, they what's coming up in their mind. And so you got to see this, Jake. You got to know how these people think. When they say anything dealing with modern day Christianity, any catchphrase, any saying, they quoting any Bible scripture, they still see that so-called white Jesus in their mind. So that's the personality that they're talking about. They're not talking about the true Messiah. So you don't take you Christians seriously. It says Psalm 73:9. It says they set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walking through the earth. So this is their laws and policies and trends, and the mouth against the heavens is layers to that as well. But one way this can be applied is they say America was founded on the Bible. This lying. They say the Messiah is a so-called white man, right? You know, they saying, you know, all this, man. Like I said, the modern day Christianity that you have today is based on witchcraft. But trying to tell a Christian that, they ain't gonna get it. Right? So this devil want to control the world, which he's doing, you know what I'm saying? But that's coming waning to an end. Let's go here. Right here. Matter of fact, I wanted to go here. Because the Edomites, they your natural born enemy, and they gonna talk all this shit about you. They gonna make you out to be, they gonna criminalize you and do everything else. Not understanding that our people was put in these conditions, right? Coming out of slavery, they actually passed laws to put Jake back into slavery. What was that? The 13th Amendment. And it goes on and on. And shit don't stop. It's too much to cover. Right here, it says Bible Hub. It says, because you, descendants of Esau, these your modern day so-called white people that's talk all that shit about you, but yet they are smile in your face, have had an everlasting hatred. Get it through your head, Jake. It's a hatred. The lion and a hyena. You can't rehabilitate them. They natural born enemies. Esau and Jake is natural born enemies. You can't love your way out of that, or love your way around that. It says, have an everlasting hatred for Jacob, Israel. And you handed over the sons of Israel to the power of the sword. So that's when this devil, Christopher Columbus, said he couldn't put his sword down for, what, an hour? You know what I'm saying? Slaughtering the people. You know what I'm saying? They did this. This is this devil history. They still doing it. Nothing changed. Let's go here. Now this matter of fact, I ain't even gonna go there. Let me go here. Slovakia. And you got to know this right here. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. It says, see now that I, even I, am he. There is no other God with me. No God with me. I kill. I make alive. I wound. I heal. And that sums it all up. Right? The Lord is in control of our lives here. Not no, lofty position. Not no, $1 million status. Not no accolades of the world. No, that can't save you. And that's why we've committed to the service of this truth, because we know it's no other way out of here. Neither is there any can deliver out of my hand. So you can try to run like that other video with that Jake jabbed old girl up in a bus. It's like she ran from Ukraine. Still got it, you can't run from the Lord. But I didn't want to make this too long. It is what it is. Another one bites the dust. And we're going to continue this show. Hopefully, this lesson was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rachak, Quadash. Shalom.